This garden is the very first thing that people see when they arrive at my property. And quite frankly, it's embarrassing. So, over the next 24 hours, using only hand tools, I'm going to completely transform this space. I'm going to remove all of the weeds and I'm going to replace them with beautiful New Zealand natives. I can't wait to see what this looks like, so let's get stuck in. Well, I gotta say, I'm not that excited about the first part of this project because that involves getting rid of a bunch of weeds, and the best way to do that is by hand and on my knees, but it's got to be done. Well, that's about 20 minutes of progress, so we're getting there. Wheelbarrow is slowly filling up and we're making some progress, which is great. But my goodness, it's warm out here. I'm gonna go put a hat on, I think. Alright, well, great to have this garden finished off, fully weeded. So that is a perfect blank canvas for us. Now, look at the amount of weeds that came out of it as well. Isn't that nuts? Huge amount. I'm also going to plant this area out. So I'm going to measure off that fence back 2 meters and cut a nice line through the turf here. And then we'll get that all weeded and get on with it. Okay, so I finished weeding the gardens. You beauty. Thank goodness that it's finished. I hate weeding at the best of times. But it's done and it's looking good. Next thing to do is to dig over these gardens with mattock and a spade. And then I want to enrich the soil with some compost and some better soil. But what I'm actually going to do first is run down to Mitre, pick up all the plants, the compost, the soil I need, because it's getting later in the day. I don't think I'm going to get to anything else today, but then I'll have that stuff the first thing in the morning and we'll hit it and get some plants in the ground. Well, I'm not sure how I fit it all in there, but that is a boot full of compost soil, all different types of plants. I've packed this car full. There you go. Thanks so much to Mitre as well at Rangiora for helping me. So helpful. This car is full of plants and compost and soil. It's so good. It's so heavy too. It looks like I've got a lowering kit in this car at the back. Oh well. Well, what an amazing mix of plants I ended up with yesterday. I'm seriously impressed with these plants. I think they're going to look fantastic in the garden bed. There is a full design of this garden that I'm working to, and I'll show you that momentarily. But I also got plenty of compost and garden mix, because the next thing I've got to do this morning is dig over these garden beds. They are rock solid in some parts, and this soil definitely needs to be improved before we plant. So this morning, I'm going to attack it with the mattock and the spade, turn this all over, work that compost in, and then we'll be ready to start planting. That is the first garden done, and I'm sure that I made that look easy. That's hard work. That is a good workout. My goodness, that gets the heart going. But we're done. I've worked it all up, haven't we, George? And now we've just got to put some compost and good garden mix in there and work that up a little bit more, and we're ready to plant. But first, I think we should get a drink. George, what do you think? Yeah. Well, thus concludes the most labor-intensive portion of this project. We've got the garden beds all dug up, compost, soil, put in those garden beds. Plants are going to love that. Now I'm just going to rake and level these garden beds, and then we'll start laying out the plants, and then the fun part can begin. Well, the gardens are all prepped and ready for plants. That was a lot of work getting to that point. I'd say if you were going to attack something like this at home, maybe go hire a rotary hoe. It'd be far easier. But nonetheless, it was a good workout. So, time to start planting. Before we do that, I'm going to just quickly go through my garden design with you. So let's talk about the designs that I've created for the garden beds at the front gate. Around the front edge by the path, I'm planting a small variety of hebes called weary mist. Weary mist is an attractive, low-growing, dense shrub which has lovely white flowers in spring and summer. It's a very hardy plant, tolerates wind and frost well, so they'll stay compact and provide a nice, tidy border here. Just behind the hebes, in the middle of the garden bed, I'm adding a row of pittosporum elfin. These will grow slightly taller than the hebes at around 50 centimeters and create a nice, tidy, lush background. And then right at the back, I've gone with some native Carex testacea grasses. They'll add height, graceful movement and texture, especially when the wind comes through. And so on the second garden, on the other side of the gate, I'm going to replicate the design. Really simple. Hebes at the front, pittosporum elephant in the middle, and the Carex native grasses in behind at the back. It's a really simple layered design, but the mix of shapes and textures should look great as it fills out over time. All right, so let's get some plants on the ground in the garden beds and just lay it out and see what it looks like. I've always found that setting out plants like this before you put them in the ground is a great idea. Even if you're working to a design, you'll inevitably stand back, take a look, and want to adjust things ever so slightly. Okay, so we've got the plants all laid out. As you can see, it's just a simple design, but just nice flowing sort of areas of nice big cloud of grass at the back, pittosporum through the middle, and mini hebes around the edge, which will have a beautiful white flower on them. And then the same over this side as well. Just the 3 rows, just to plan out that area. Real nice. Anyway, time to stop chatting. Time to start planting. Well, that is garden 1 done. Plants are in. Oh, sweaty work, George. Second garden, we just need to finish now, so we'll crack on with that. What a difference. There you have it, 24 hours, weeds gone, new native plants in. How good is that? That just makes such a difference with people coming to visit through the front gate of my property now. I think that looks great. It's nice and simple. There's nothing too crazy going on, not too many plants, not too many different types of plants. It's not too sparse. This will fill out quite nicely. I am going to get some mulch down on the ground soon. That'll be helpful for keeping the weeds down, keeping the moisture in the soil as well. But there you have it. Not too difficult. I think if I was going to do it again, I'd definitely get the rotary hoe, because breaking up that soil was quite hard. So there you have it, we're all done.